As your elected sheriff, I promise to I will lower the crime rate and I will ensure that there will be more farming production in your area. Farming production will be amped up to a all high expectation. But anyhow, as your elected sheriff, I'm going to lower crime and I'm going to tell everybody how we're going to do this with rolling example of it seemed like he was a conservative sheriff in the show. You know, the Andy Griffith show, the sheriff of Mayberry. He was in a see, uh, one of the finest elected representatives of mankind had ever had to offer. But what did he do? Well, he didn't have a gun, so I'd say if I walked around as a sheriff and I didn't have a gun because I wanted to appease the people to be a little bit more peaceful and to talk a little bit more than to say more arrests, less arrests, and more talking to people, trying to talk it out and stuff. Well, um, I just thought that maybe it would be a better approach to do like that, have that kind of an approach towards people. But I don't necessarily know that I would go without a gun on or anything like that. But I would surely want to lower the crime rate and actually have in fact people committing less crime. So does it depend on some people's jobs and if their livelihood and their functioning in their lives that they have to remain staying a police officer? So they depend on people breaking the law. So I don't understand why Andy Griffith would jump on Obama's side and Obamacare and all that right before he died. Right at the end, show that he was a pretty much a staunch Southern Democrat at that point, so he wasn't going to waver. And he's just like what we said: the Democrats, they can't do any wrong. To the people who elect Democrats over and over and over and over again. The Democrat can't do any wrong. They think the Republicans stink. They think the Republicans are worse. Somebody was talking to me about something that Donald Trump had maybe done. Maybe it said like 38 years ago, so it was almost like 40 years ago, and they're gonna talk about him and his ethics and like hiring illegals and stuff like that. I didn't I didn't say I was completely against hiring illegals. I'm against hiring bad people with bad intentions. And I hate the fact that people come here and don't have the intention on being legitimate citizens of this place anyway. So all I can say is that a sheriff has to look out for his citizens. You can't twist or turn or waver by the way that other people try to manipulate him or try to coax him from the hierarchies in the chain of command in the courthouse systems. So I don't know if they need to be more simple, like be able to, just put it to them in layman's terms, just real simple, just flat out tell these higher up people, hey, I'm not here to punk my citizens. I'm not here to punk anybody in particular. I truly want everybody to get along. I don't say, can we all get along? I'm one that knows that we can all get along and have an extreme amount of fun. And if somebody screwed up our fun, it would definitely not, I don't think, be one of us that was enjoying ourselves in our own communities and places. So, aid number one, I'm for talking to people, giving police officers a sort of course training in uh, social behavior, but I don't want it to go against the police. I don't want it to go against these people necessarily. I don't want it to go against anybody. I want them to everybody to be able to use the tools they have, and it functioned correctly in the way that it was intended to be, not getting off track or off beat there. So what I do as your sheriff is I would run it like that. And the first time somebody got out of hand, I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, before you got to that point, and then you were to run into it, because it might not ever happen. You have to be elected first. But saying if I was hypothetically, what was to come, what would be to come, would be me basically making that police, sheriff's department, or whatever that I'd be in control of. I'd be making whoever caused a problem at that point my enemy. So, don't go after people for no particular reason, just to be hateful or mean, and I think that people who are just going to be jumpy and cocky and go ahead and arrest people without really talking to people and finding out who they are, I do not believe that they have a place, in any police department at all. Not listening to both sides. I'm sick and tired of police that won't listen to both sides. Because anytime you ever seen the best TV shows that they ever made in the world, in the history of ever having televised police encountering people and doing things, the most professional ones played the role how the cops' jobs were meant to be performed. And they went and they executed with precision, not fascism. These weren't fascist cops. These were professional, reason why they, wear nice press uniform is because they're impressive with the duty that they perform. So that's how you get to that point. That's how you be impressed with that. And I guess other than that, if the people really didn't like you, I don't know why you'd want to hang around. You couldn't change anything. You couldn't fix anything for the better. And not go and toy with something that's already working all right. You know, why would anybody have to go and toy with something, anything that was already working great? You know, just to be a douche, just to make people miserable and give people a hard time or something like that. So that's what I'm talking about is complete professionalism. And yes, he wasn't completely PC and everything else back then. Whatever they told Matlock to do or be like, I was shocked to come to find out that he was doing that and was backing uh, them up, pushing Obamacare, which is an unconstitutional thing for them to do. I'll tell you what could be an appropriate thing for any politician or person in the hierarchy above all of us could do about our health insurance and about our lives could be simply to tell us all the right things, like no different than how a parent with good advice. I'm saying somebody who had the good advice whenever you needed it and they gave it to you. That's what they really needed to be, and instead they honed in and they took advantage of people on that. While people have been all along, us all, I don't know too many people that are not guilty of not abusing the system in a way, at least a little bit. Like going to the hospital and not having insurance at the emergency room. So many people have done that. So it made kind of sense later on that they would go after the healthcare like that, seeing as how there is an extreme corrupt thing going on with us as the people, not just them as the crooked politician. So do we want to keep pointing out everybody else is bad and everything else that they did wrong, or do we want to be able to everybody be able to come clean and then move on from then on and square ourselves away and be the better characters that we need to be for our communities? Now, if I played that role, now this is all hypothetical. I'm just doing this for the hell of it. That's like every other one of my videos. I'm doing it just for the hell of it. I don't do it for an intention to really get people to vote for me or anything. If anything, I would prefer to see what it would be like if I could get every single person in one place to just go and protest by not going to vote. You got everybody going to vote. Do it on some other than the presidential election one. If we're that concerned about it, do it well in the mid ones, the one that they have every 2 years, and not for the presidency. But I wanted people to protest and go and not go and vote and not go and vote everybody just in one place. I just wanted to see what what it would be like to have all of their politicians basically fired because their term was up and they didn't elect anybody else. So the people got voted out basically by nobody showing up to vote for anybody. I just wanted to see that. That would be quite interesting. Or everybody vote. Don't go and vote like I said, and one person go and vote for themselves. And that'd be some total idiot. But I don't know what you think the politicians are or we are, or I mean, we keep pointing things out to them. Obviously, we have our own, things that we do our own selves that we need to correct so that we can move forward. But not just that, but be able to, when we're pointing out these things and telling other people what their problems are, not really be um, like what kind of they are, and have double standards like that. So I really think that way to myself. I'm not just expressing that to try to change anybody's opinion or mind or how they live or anything like that. I'm just saying how I look at things whenever I get kind of deep in thought. But I promise to lower crime, and if I don't lower crime, well, I'm your elected sheriff, when the crime don't stop, like basically almost stop completely, I'll fire my own self. As soon as the shit gets any worse than it was before I got in there, if it doesn't lower the day I get in there, and the crime goes completely gone, and I'm not your sheriff for 30 years. I would say I'll kiss your butt because I think that I'm that skilled, but in particular, I'll leave. I'll walk off. I'll quit for you. I'll resign.